Hello everybody, hello again. So this is use texting to increase on-time homework submission rate. So I'll explain everything in detail. So how many of you see your student texting during the class? How many of you see that? Okay. Some students do it, below the table. Some student in front of you, right, doing it. So let's use this texting in a good use. So they're using it. So let's use it. So I started to use it not too long ago. It's actually, first time I used this technology in fall 2014, so last semester. So I don't have a lot of data to share you, but I have something. So so what I'm going to talk about is texting, the technical part, how you actually use texting. The technical part of it. A little bit detail, not too much. But if you have any question, you can always talk to me after the event. And then the how I actually implement this in the class, and then why am I doing it. And then I don't have a lot of data, a little bit of data to show you, so that's I'm going to show you at the end, and then talk about some disadvantage and advantage of this technique. It's a short presentation, it's not long. Okay. So what I do in the first day of the class, I hand out a sheet of paper to my students, where students write their name, their cell phone number, and the carrier of their cell phone. So if it's T-Mobile, they write T-Mobile. If it is Verizon, they write Verizon, and so on. So it's an optional. So this is voluntary. So I make it clear in the beginning that you don't have to participate. If you don't want to, you don't have to. So it's a voluntary. But to be honest, 95% of the students actually volunteer to participate. They feel comfortable with texting, especially nowadays. Then I convert this phone number into an email address, and it's very easy. I'll show you. Many of you already know it. And then I create a group out of that email address. So I have one group for each of my course. So one group for Math 210, one group for Math 20, and so on. So when I send an email from that group, I just send one email, and that goes to the text message as a text message in all of their cell phone. Okay, so that is how I communicate. Of course, I also use regular email, and then so I'm going to go over this a little bit detail later on. Everybody can hear me clear? It's okay. Okay. So for each carrier, there is a unique address how you convert a phone number to the email. So for example, for AT&T, you have the number, and then you put at txt.att.net. Same thing. So you can easily get this in the website, or I can give it to you. In the T-Mobile is the number at tmomail.net, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you can just Google it. Is out there. It's nothing secret. So most of this, majority of the students fall into one of this. They have one of this. Majority of them has one of this carrier, but once in a while you have some carrier which you don't know. So you need to go back to Google it and find it out. So for example, if a student has a T-Mobile cell phone number, so I just write the number and then at tmomail.net, then it becomes an email address. So that's an example. So once I collect all of their phone number, I convert them to email address, and then I create a group in my inbox. So in the Microsoft Outlook, so I create a group for each one. So you can see here, you have. So this one is Math 210. So that's my honors calculus class for the fall 2014, and these are the students on that class. So I convert each of this phone number into an email address. So once I click this, and I can send a text message to all of them in one time as an email. And I can, and if anybody has any question, I'll be happy to show you. I don't want to go into the detail of this technical part. Okay, now the implementation part. So once I post a homework, By the way, I use Blackboard in all of my courses. So once I post a homework in the Blackboard, I always send an email, of course, and then at the same time I also send a text message that a new homework is posted. So if a student is at work, many of our students are full-time work, some are part-time. So if the student is at work, they can just look at their phone and then, oh, a new homework is posted, right? So I need to take a look at that. So it's immediate. They just get this immediately. Usually each of my homework has 7 days to do. The due date is usually 7 days. So in 3 days, I'll give them another warning that you have not submitted the homework yet, please do it. Okay? And then the final warning is 24 hours before the homework. Okay? It says something like this: if you submit the homework, great. If you have not submitted, you have 24 hours to submit it. Homework count this % of your final grade. So I give them some encouragement, right? So homework count. So if you don't do this homework, it may affect your grade. Okay. So this is 3 warning. And these are actually automatic. So I post in the beginning. I set up the email so it goes automatic. So in that time. So sometimes you forget. So you just set it up automatic. I do other things with that. So I remind them with exam date. Okay, when is the exam? If the class need to be cancelled for an emergency, I send them by this. Texting is immediate. Any other important announcement, I do it both in email and also as a texting. Okay. So why I do it? So of course it's immediate, it's instantaneous, right? So students just get it right away, and they really like it. Students really like this. So sometimes the students say that I'm at work, I just know right away that the homework is posted. So right after the work, I go to the I take out my laptop, I go to the Blackboard, and I check the homework. And nowadays the students are more into texting. Even they check their email in their smartphone, right? And it's a constant reminder mechanism. So it's just remind them again and again. So this, I have a little data to show you, not too much. So I started this in the fall 2014. So I compare this data from the spring 2014 and the fall 2014 for the same class. In the spring 2014, I have not used it, and in the fall I'm using it. I used it. So I use this in 2 classes: Math 210, that's the Honors Calculus 1, and the remedial math, the remedial algebra course, the Math 20 class. So if you look at the left-hand side, that's the spring 2014. So so the data is in percentage. So it says, for example, here 55% of the students submit their homework on time when I did not use the technology, this texting. And compare this to the fall 2014, something like 84% of the students submit their homework on time. By the way, all the homework is submitted through Blackboard. So all my homework is in the Blackboard. Students submit their homework in the Blackboard. So everything, all the data is collected electronically. So I can just go back anytime and check and collect this data. So everything is online through the Blackboard. And there are some traditional homework, paper-based, but is usually I don't collect them. Usually it's for the practice for the exam. So that's for my honors calculus. And compare this to also for the remedial math, the elementary algebra course. For the spring 2014, I have about 42% submit on time compared to fall, where 85% submit on time. So this is a little bit more for the Math 20 class. I don't know why, but this is a little bit more. Okay. So homework is of course, and we always tell students that the homework is very important. If you do good in the homework, you will do good in the exam. Okay. By the way, I did not see any significant difference on the grading, but although the homework submission rate increased, there is a little passing rate for Math 210, my calculus course, but for the CUNY final exam for Math 20, there is no significant difference on these 2 semesters. Although the on-time homework submission rate increase, but I assume that if the students submit homework, if they're doing homework, their grade should increase, but that doesn't really happen on the last semester. It might happen this semester. Maybe the sample size is small, I cannot draw any conclusion, anything can happen. So, but I don't see any significant difference on their grading. Okay. Now some of the disadvantage, of course, you need to spend some time in the beginning of the semester to set up. It's a little bit of time. So it takes you like 4 or 5 hours to set up your all of this, collect all of this phone number, convert this to emails, set up the contact group. It takes a little bit of time. So you have to spend a little bit of time. And then also when you need to send an email, right? So at least you set it up at for each homework you need to set up the email, right? And then also there is a limitation on the length of the message. So text cannot be too big. If you write a too big text, it will break it up into several messages, and then that's not good. So usually it says something like, homework 1 is posted, the due date is September 20. And then in the next message, I can say, the 3 days passed, you didn't submit your homework, please do it. And then in the final message, it will say homework count 10% of your final grade. If you fail to submit this homework, it will affect your grading. So that is how I break it down, something like that. So it cannot be too big. Of course, not all students participate. There are some students who don't want to participate for some reason. And sometimes students who participate did not receive their text message. I don't know why. Maybe there's some block of the message from their carrier, or some technical difficulty. So students who give their phone number did not receive their message. So I told them to talk to their carrier to fix it. Sometimes some students fix it, some students cannot fix it. So that's always the technical difficulty part. I have 1 minute. Okay. Okay. I thought my presentation is short. Okay. So students sometimes expect reapply. When they receive the message from me, they just reapply with their phone, and then they want the reapply back from me. But of course, it's not going to my phone; it's going to my email address, right? So it's not immediate response from me. If I want, I can have, I can direct their text to my phone, but then I have a lot of messages. So I don't want to really do that. So that's too much. Okay. So thank you.